Hello, welcome to Secret Zone. Subscribe and turn on notifications for stories you won't forget. I always thought I knew my wife, the woman I loved more than anything in this world, the one I trusted with my heart and my life. I was a factory owner in New York, running a business I had built from nothing, with 50 to 60 workers, 2 managers, and a team that relied on me every day. Every December, I celebrated a big party for my employees, a tradition I cherished, bringing everyone together to mark the year's hard work. That year, everything seemed perfect. My wife, with her long flowing hair and piercing blue eyes, looked stunning, and I felt proud showing her off to my workers and friends. But as the night went on, I began to notice something strange. The way she looked at one of my managers, it was more than just friendly. There was a spark in her eyes, a secret smile, and a subtle touch that I couldn't ignore. At first, I tried to brush it off, telling myself I was imagining things, but the feeling in my gut told me something was wrong. Then, in the middle of the celebration, she disappeared. One moment she was there, laughing and chatting, and the next, gone. I searched the hall frantically, my heart pounding, asking every employee if they had seen her, but no one gave a straight answer. And then, someone whispered what I feared most. My wife and the manager had been seen together in a private room inside the hall. My mind couldn't process it. Could the woman I loved, the woman I trusted more than anyone, really betray me in front of all these people? That night, I didn't know the full story, but by morning, everything I believed about my marriage, my trust, and my life would be destroyed. I was about to see evidence of a betrayal so shocking, so deliberate, that it would change me forever. I had always believed my life was perfect. I had built a factory from scratch in New York, employing 50 to 60 people, managing plastic manufacturing and distribution to nearby cities. My wife, the woman I loved more than life itself, was always by my side. Hair long, hair-piercing blue eyes, and graceful smile made every day brighter. Each December I held a grand party for my employees, a celebration of our hard work and success. That year, after 3 years, the hall was bigger, the decorations grander, and I was proud to show off my wife to everyone. She looked stunning in a flowing dress, and for a moment, I felt the joy of having built a life I had always dreamed of. But as the night progressed, I began noticing subtle, unsettling things. My wife's eyes kept drifting toward one of my managers. There were glances that lingered too long, smiles that seemed secret, touches that felt intimate. My gut twisted uncomfortably, but I brushed it off. I told myself I was imagining things, but it was the alcohol, the lights, the laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Then, it happened. She vanished. One moment she was there, laughing and dancing. The next, gone without a word. Panic rose inside me. I asked the employees, searched every corner of the hall, but no one could give a clear answer. Then, quietly, someone told me what I dreaded the most. My wife and the manager had been seen entering a private room together. My mind froze. Could this really be happening? The woman I had trusted with my heart, my home, my life. Could she betray me in the very place I had built for everyone, in front of all these people? That night, I didn't have proof. I only had suspicion, gut-wrenching anxiety, and a fear that my perfect life might be unraveling before my eyes. The next morning, my fears were confirmed in the most devastating way possible. Friends and employees started sending me videos from the party, and I could hardly believe what I saw. There, on my phone, was the reality I had. Private room, my wife and my manager together, kissing, touching, a betrayal that was raw and undeniable. I felt my heart shatter in a way words can never describe. My hands trembled, and for a moment, I couldn't breathe. I replayed the videos again and again, trying to convince myself that this was some cruel mistake, some misunderstanding. But, deep down, I knew it was exactly what it appeared to be. Later, I accessed 5 months of CCTV recordings that my friend had kept for safety reasons. The footage was even more horrifying. It revealed that their affair had been going on for years. They were meeting secretly, exchanging glances, whispers, and touches that had nothing to do with friendship. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and completely powerless. How could the woman I loved more than life itself, the woman I trusted blindly, deceive me like this, right under my nose? The anger and heartbreak were overwhelming. I called the manager immediately, ordering him to resign and leave the factory. The betrayal was not just personal, it was professional. My business, my trust, my life had all been violated in one night. As I tried to process the magnitude of the betrayal, I realized that I had to confront my wife. But I also knew that words alone couldn't repair the damage. She had crossed a line that could never be undone. I brought her home, my mind a storm of disbelief and anger. She tried to explain, her voice trembling, lipstick smudged, hair messy from the rush, but I could hardly listen. There was nothing she could say that would undo what had been done. I stayed silent, driving home in a tense, heavy quiet that neither of us could break. Once home, I made her watch the videos on the big screen of our TV. I wanted her to see exactly what I had seen, to understand the depth of her betrayal. As the images played, her face turned pale, tears streaming down her cheeks. She begged, apologized, promised it would never happen again. But the damage was already done. Years of trust and love had been replaced with deception and lies. I could feel my resolve hardening. No amount of tears or apologies could repair the life she had broken. I had already made up my mind. I contacted my lawyer and began the process of divorce. I wanted nothing left for her. No money, no claims, just the closure I needed to rebuild my life. In court, the divorce was finalized. She left with nothing, and for the first time in years, I felt a sense of control returning. I had been betrayed, yes, but I had taken the steps to protect myself, my business, and my dignity. The days and weeks that followed were difficult, but I refused to let anger and sadness control me. I focused on my factory, my employees, and my own personal growth. The next December, I held the annual party again, just as I always did, but this time, she wasn't there. I celebrated not just our success, but my resilience, my ability to rebuild, and my refusal to let betrayal define my life. Each day, I worked harder, built stronger relationships with my team, and reminded myself that life could move forward even after the deepest wounds. Looking back, I realized that while I had lost my wife, I had regained something even more important: my self-respect, my independence, and my focus. The affair had tried to break me, but instead, it became the catalyst for my growth. I learned that betrayal, while painful, could also teach lessons of strength, courage, and resilience. And as I looked around at my thriving factory and my life rebuilt from the ashes of deception, I understood one unshakable truth. I had survived, I had conquered, and I was stronger than ever. My wife had lost not just me, but the life and trust she could never take back. And I had taken everything back that truly meant my life, my dignity, and my future. Looking back, I realized that life doesn't always go the way we imagine, and the people we trust the most can sometimes betray us in ways we never expect. That night at the factory party, the woman I loved, the person I thought would stand by me through everything, chose deceit instead of loyalty, passion instead of honesty. But betrayal, as painful as it is, also teaches us lessons that nothing else can. I lost her, yes, but in losing her, I found myself again, my strength, my dignity, and the ability to rebuild my life on my own terms. I learned that no one can take away your self-respect unless you allow it, and that the pain of deceit can be transformed into a force for growth and resilience. That party, that hidden affair, and that shocking video tried to destroy me. But instead, they became the turning point that led me to a stronger, wiser, and more focused life. Life moved forward, my factory thrived, my team grew closer, and I celebrated every success knowing I had overcome something far more personal than any business challenge. And as I look at the life I've rebuilt, I know one thing for certain: trust must be earned, loyalty cannot be forced, and the truth, no matter how painful, will always set you free. If you've ever faced betrayal, heartbreak, or hidden secrets in your life, remember that there is always a way to rise again, stronger than before. And for those who crave stories that reveal the shocking truths people try to hide, hidden affairs, and the secrets that destroy lives, make sure to subscribe to Secret Zone, because every story here exposes the things no one dares to talk about, and every truth has a lesson waiting for you. Thank you for watching Secret Zone.